Okay, this is June 9th, 2018, Terra Gardens. I haven't really done one of these in several years, but it's come a long ways since I started. But as you can see, this is really kind of out of hand right now. This is what happens when you give it a month of neglect. I had several things going on and I just couldn't get out here. The weather was kind of bad this spring, and so I didn't get much done out here. So it's been a real challenge to try and get this back under production. But I'm trying. Over here is a bed that I just finished cleaning up. You can see some tomatoes in there that are pretty sad shape. They were volunteers out of one of the other beds, and so I just threw them in the ground, see what happens. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. And this bed here looked pretty much like this one here when I started. It's pretty gruesome. So we'll just walk back to the other part of the garden. This is a kind of the first garden that I had is right in this area. And then I expanded over into this area over here. And as you can see, it's even in worse shape. There's supposed to be pathways in there and raised beds as well, but it's just a terrible mess. And here is potatoes that don't look too bad. They're coming along pretty well. I think this year I'm just going to dig them up for new potatoes. And here is just a little patch of corn, sweet corn. I would like to get another full bed of sweet corn in before too long, and that will be down this way. As you can see, this area here has got a 5-foot steel welded fence around this whole half of the garden. This is to keep out the raccoons. Raccoons are really bad in this area, and even with this steel welded fence, that doesn't even keep them out. You can see the yellow insulators. There's a single strand of battery powered electrical wire that goes around the outside of this fence. So the combination of the fence and the electrical wire does a pretty good job of keeping them out. But this is the bed here that I want to clean up and put sweet corn in. And right after I do that, then I'm going to have to start the electric fence up, because those buggers, those rascal raccoons, will come in and they don't even wait for the sweet corn to get ripe. They just continue to eat it, or destroy it, really. They don't really eat it, they just take a bite and go on to the next one, knock the stalks down, and just do a lot of damage. So right away when when the corn starts growing, I just put up the electric fence, keep them at bay. And you can kind of see where some of the sides of the raised beds are, but it's still quite a mess. Got a lot of work to do here. This is another area here that I've been working on. This is where the volunteer tomatoes came from. This bed last year was a tomato bed, but the tomato plants that I planted in here had a mislabeled package on the seeds, and they ended up all being cherry tomatoes. So I had wheelbarrows of cherry tomatoes come out of this little bed here. And of course, most people don't care to have that many cherry tomatoes. So I'm out here on the front of the road. My bushes are coming along really well. These are Rugosa rose bushes. They come from the seacoast of Maine, and they're very rugged. And as you can see, they got prickly thorns on them too. And when I planted them, they were just little twigs. That was probably about 5 years ago. So they've really grown into a good hedge here. That was my intent, was to put up a good hedge here. And if it had prickly thorns on it, it would help keep the animals at bay from coming through my fence. Still has a few holes, a few gaps to fill in, but it's coming along really well. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm gonna stop for now. Maybe give you another update when I do a little more work.